Welcome to Special Education. Today on the show, I got Slug of Atmosphere. How you doing?
I'm freaking awesome.
Freaking awesome. I like that
man.
a lot. We are going to do Special Education all about Fishing Blues, the new album. Go get it right now. Bang, bang. Are you ready for this?
I'm nervous.
Don't be nervous.
I can't help it.
First question. Which song was the most difficult to make? I put Besos. What'd you put?
Why Bezos?
Because you, like, especially when you were talking about the guy who does crack or coke or, like, it was just very heavy to me. Like, yes, there's some, like, comic relief in, you know, how you're talking about, like, Fuzz Tap the Bus and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it just felt heavy to me.
Bezos is a style song, so really the lyrics in that song were nowhere near as important as, like, the styles. You know what I'm saying? Like, the second verse has this kind of, like, inside-out style with the lyrics. The third verse was kind of like, you know, one up, two player, and bonus. It's based on like playing video games. So it wasn't really. No, you're wrong.
What'd you put? I'm so curious.
I put a song called Next to You.
Next to You. That the honesty in Next to You is my shit. It's so honest.
That was difficult to write because I was nervous of there's a line you could cross there that steps into, like, creepy stalker territory, you know, and so I was trying really hard to get as close to that line as I could without crossing over it.
But I think it's so relatable, honestly. Like, I feel like there are plenty of men who've been in that same situation.
Right, but
It
then
happens.
there are also plenty of women who hear that song and probably could be triggered by parts of that. You know what I'm saying? So I was trying to, you know, like, I wasn't trying to trigger nobody, but I was trying to get as close to that line with, you know, with honesty as I could without crossing into it, because I didn't want it to become a caricature or, you know what I'm saying? Like, and so that one that one sat on the chalkboard for a while before we finally stamped it and called it finished. It was really Dem Atlas when he showed up and put a hook on it. That was where we were like, okay, he helped bring it back to my side of the line a little bit with that chorus. So
I think it also sets a nice flow to the album, because when you go into Next to You and then just more songs more so about relationships, I think there's a tone in there that it kind of sets.
You know, I appreciate you saying that, because we definitely saw it like, if we take this song and put it in front of these other ones, it will lessen maybe some of the blow
Definitely
that come from these songs that follow it. So
next one is a little bit of a curveball. What would you perform for third graders? I put Still Here.
That's one of the ones that I thought of. Still Be Here. I put
Still Be Here, sorry.
I put the Fishing Blues title track.
That's real.
Mostly because there's a part in there where I'm talking to a fish, and the fish talks back.
That's dope.
That doesn't really happen. I've tried it. You know, depending on how you cook it, it's not talking back. But yeah, I could see the Still Be Here joint.
I feel like Still Be Here you almost wrote to your kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was definitely for you know, I wrote it for Oscar, the son that was born just prior to us starting to work on that record. Nice. You know, I've got a lot of kids, and every one of them has gotten at least one song out of me. Nice. And then so when Oscar was born, I felt like if I don't give him one, he's gonna grow up and he's gonna tell a therapist someday that Dad didn't write me one. Everybody got one but me, you know. So
that's beautiful.
Also, you know, oftentimes my writing will be influenced by not just what's going on in my life, but also what's going on in Anthony's life, because we work so closely together. Yeah. That his life kind of treads into mine, you know, and mine into his, and so he had just had a child as well during the making of this album, and so it was, you know, something, that song was for both of our children, you know.
Going on the curveball tip, what would you perform at an old folks home? I put Next to You. I feel like it's just, we talked about it before, but it's just the true definition of a love song. Like, that's love. That's true love. Like, because you figure if you're drunk, you could go out and do some really bad things, but you just chose to lay next to her and do your thing. Like, that is beautiful.
Could I get you to call my wife and tell her this?
It's not creepy, it's true love, I swear.
That's tight. I put Won't Look Back.
Why'd you choose Won't Look Back?
Because I feel like the elders would appreciate the chorus to that, just because it's kind of got it's a woman named Kim Manning. She sings it. She's got a very pleasant voice. Yep. It's got the 4 on the floor kind of beat. So if you're a blues person, or if you're a country person, or it's kind of a relatable beat. Oftentimes rap music scares old people.
True.
As it should. And this particular song is not the most threatening of songs. You know what I'm saying? And content-wise, it's a relationship song, but it's also a song just about accepting your regrets and moving forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I feel like if anybody knows that lesson, it's somebody who made it past 75. You know what I mean?
Or
like,
they need to hear it, because it's like, come on, it's about time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Next one. Favorite song to perform live? What did you put?
I put Perfect.
Perfect.
What did you put?
I put You Oughta Know by Alanis Morissette, because I saw a video of you online performing that, and it was amazing. So good.
How did you see that?
It was like months ago, and it was in some interview that you did, and they included the footage. This was like months ago.
How does that exist? That was done way before YouTube existed.
It was amazing.
Wow. Yeah, we used to rock that shit. Sorry. Can you curse?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't see
good.
Nobody else cursing.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah. Killer Mike's favorite word was motherfucker.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, man. Yeah. We used to rock that live. Back when I used to play with a live band, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And the only reason we did was because it blended with Fuck You Lucy. And so it was kind of like, a similar sentiment, a similar kind of vibe. Her song, that's her version of that same song, you know what I mean? And so we used it as kind of like a intro medley into Fuck You Lucy. Plus, I always wanted to make out with Alanis. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
definitely my Canadian crush. Wait.
Why did you choose Perfect?
Oh, man, just because it's fun. And I get to say things in that song that, that's a song that I was supposed to write a long time ago, and just kind of it finally dawned on me that I should write that. You know what I mean? Like, it was just something that I never even considered to write until we were making this project, and so it immediately made it into the set and hasn't left yet. You know what I'm saying?
The juxtaposition is just incredible, and the honesty on top of that. Like, it's so good.
To me, it's the beat. When you make a hip hop beat out of reggae sounds, it's always a win to me. You know what I'm saying? When I was a kid, when I was growing up, you were always supposed to have one reggae influenced joint on your record. Run DMC, Fat Boys, all these dudes. It was like you would have 10 songs on your record. One would be about a girl. One would be a reggae beat. The rest of them would be talking about how cool you were.
Yep.
And so I try to still fit in a little bit of reggae into every single record. And Anthony, he excels at those beats. He makes really good joints. So to me, it was tight, just because it was like, now we got another reggae one, and now, I mean, I think we got like eight reggae joints now. So now it's like I could go and hit a festival and play in front of, play a reggae festival.
For real.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, so Summer Splash or whatever you call it.
All of them.
Germany, hook me up, man. Holler, man. Make us your token rap group at the Reggae Fest. I'm saying.
It.
I smoke hella weed. Let's go.
It only makes sense. Come on. Last question. Favorite collab on this album, besides Ant, of course.
The one with Kool. Oh.
It happens every episode. Somebody gets so excited they just blurt out the answer. Let's just talk about
when
it.
the lights go out.
When the lights go out. I was gonna put Doom because I fucking love Doom. Like, he'll forever be in my top 5. So what was it like getting those two legends on record? Because you had already worked with Doom before, but what was it like selecting that record for them and getting them on it?
Well, when I first got that track from Ant, I wrote 2 verses to it, made a chorus. I liked it. I played it for Evidence. We were hanging out one day, and he heard it, and was like, he's the one that was like, you know who would sound good on this is Kool Keith. And I was like, yeah, he would. And I'm like, man, I got his contact info. Once in a while, we would even holler at each other and say what's up, you know, and wish each other, you know, happy Hanukkah or some shit. And he, you know, so I hit him up and I sent him the track, and he was in. I was like, oh, that's tight. So then when and you know, but I was like, you know what, I don't want to just do what everybody does when they get Kool Keith, you know what I'm saying? I wanted to do something kind of unexpected. So I was like, hey, why don't you take the end here and just go, just do whatever you want. And he sent me back you know, we weren't together. I was touring at the time, and so was he, so we didn't have the opportunity to actually be in a room together to make it. Well, he sent me back the files, and I was just like, yo, you killed it. And I was in the studio putting it in with the engineer, and the engineer was like, hey, what's that noise? I'm like, what you talking about? And he soloed Keith's vocals, and he got a Jolly Rancher or something in his mouth. And you can hear it, you know what I'm saying? When he's like talking, you can hear he's sucking on some candy or something. And I was like, that's amazing. I want to redo my vocals with some candy in my mouth. So I went back in the booth and redid my vocals with candy in my mouth, which is not as easy to do as you would think.
Yeah.
And then, so then now we had this piece that was me and him, and I cut one of my verses off. It was like, I'm just going to keep one verse for me, give him the outro, put a hook in the middle, and it'll be kind of like a segue. And then Ant was like, nah, it just doesn't feel complete. We need something else on it, you know what I mean? And so we just started kind of going through the mental Rolodex of what other artists we could tap to see who would come up. And both of us were kind of like, what about Doom? He would fit on this. Yeah. And it would just definitely make it, you know, I don't do a lot of collaborations on Atmosphere albums. There's not a whole lot of guests. In this one, we were kind of like, just let's have some fun and do things that people wouldn't expect, you know? Instead of just like getting 16s from everybody, let's try to do weird things, you know? And so I'm hollering at Doom, you know, and Doom was like, yeah, I'm down, cool, send me the beat, whatever, you know? And Doom's turnaround time is amazing, you know what I'm saying? Like he's dumb prolific, he gets it done. So when it came back, we were really excited about that record in particular, you know. And it's funny because like all the time when you're making an album, you judge your songs and you put them next to other ones, and you're like, well, I really like this one, but now this one makes this one not as. What can we do to that one now to make that one, you know? And so every song has the potential to get cut, especially with us, because we try to. You know, we really make a ton of music, you know what I mean? And so it's like we try not to get too attached to anything in particular. That was the one song on the record that I think there was no way that song could have gotten cut. There was no way around it. It was glue for the majority of the album. Plus I got to say fuck Bill Clinton with a saxophone. Which nobody got. I'm saying, like, everybody was just like, what does that fucking mean? Why would you say that on a record? I'm talking about the prisons are still filled to the maximum, so fuck Bill Clinton with a saxophone.
It makes sense.
Still, fuck him. Fuck him. I don't give a fuck if he's friends with rappers.
Especially, too, because everybody wants to be like, oh, Bill was, you know, a good president. He was the first black. I'm like, how about you look a little deeper into it, guys?
Man.
Like, let's pull the chart real quick.
Fools locked everybody up, man.
I know.
Fuck him.
It's terrible. But did you instruct Doom that he needed to record a Jolly Ranchers out too? Or
no, man. You don't instruct Doom to do nothing, man.
I had to ask.
No, man. He's a king, man. You just send him the beat and then just kind of hope it comes back, you know? No. But he's Doom is amazing, you know, for somebody who is, you know, is I guess people would say mysterious and you know, people, when you're mysterious, I see this with other friends of mine too, in the industry. When you're mysterious, people give you a little bit more leeway.
Definitely.
You know, and it's one of those things where it's like with Doom, he's mysterious, but he don't need the leeway. He's still just it's meat and potatoes. He does what he does, and he kills it, and he sends it back. You know what I mean? And so, like it's you know, it's harder to get verses from people that live in my city. You know what I mean? That, you know, where I could go, I'm standing out in front of your house, going, hey, remember 16 right here? You know, it's like, yeah, nah. Doom is the motherfucking man. So is Kool Keith, and so yeah, that particular collaboration might be the most favorite, one of the top 3 collaborations I've ever done in my life, period.
I believe it. It's so good. Yay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This was so much fun. Yay.
I won.
You did win.